It's a nice pumpkin-colored summer's evening, the sun setting slowly over the Bedeviled Forest. In the countryside is a homestead belonging to Ferris and Evelyn. They are sitting together on a cozy rocking bench with iced lemon tea in their hands.
I'm just plumb tired of having Jacobs come over to help us digging out that well, only to take a big old tax on your apple pies.
Well, he does good work, doesn't he?
Not saying he don't do good work, but if we run out of something sweet before the week's end, I won't hear the end of it from a sugar tooth. Fine teeth.
Want me to make some more tea for you, darling?
I'd love that.
As Evelyn begins to head inside, Colin comes into view over the horizon.
Mama! Dad!
Ferris gets up and runs over to Colin, with Evelyn following suit. Colin looks panicked and frightened.
Dad! Brutus, I was out walking him and he ran into this big cornfield with all these signs saying, keep out and all that. Dad, he ain't come back yet.
Ferris and Evelyn come over to hug a sobbing Colin, who buries his face in his father's arms.
I don't know what to do, Dad. Cornfield's just beyond that patch there. Please get him back, Dad.
Ferris, it's nearing dusk.
And by the time tomorrow comes, Brutus might not even be around anymore. Evelyn, honey, you stay with Colin at the house. I'm gonna try to find Brutus before nightfall.
Let me come with you, Dad.
You sure, Colin? It'll be mighty late.
Well, actually, maybe not.
If night comes and you haven't found him, come home immediately, Fair.
I will, love. I just need to grab a lantern first.
As Ferris heads over to the shed, Evelyn ushers Colin inside the homestead.
Come on, honey. Let's get you something to eat.
Dusk is coming as Ferris finally makes it to the cornfield, lantern at his side. In front of Ferris are two signs, "Keep out" and "Beware," written in a dried maroon brown. He takes a look back briefly, considering whether he should just go home or be a man. A bad omen lingers in the air. Unnerved but resolute, Ferris takes a breath as he walks further in, pushing away cornstalks as he wades through the fields.
Brutus! Are you here, boy?
Unbeknownst to Ferris, a pair of sickly, glowing amber eyes watches him from the cornstalks, immediately blinking back into the shadows.
Brutus!
Soon, a path begins to make itself clear from the stalks. Ferris breathes a sigh in relief as he aligns himself on it.
Brutus! Brutus! Where are you, boy? Hello? Anyone there? Brutus! That you? Brutus! Brutus! Come here! Ah! You son of a...
Back at the homestead, Evelyn is gently holding Colin's hand at the kitchen table, the two of them gazing outside the window. At this point, the only light in the sky is the full moon, and even then it's obscured by the clouds.
Mom? Do you think Dad's gonna be okay? Or Brutus?
I don't know, darling. But we're gonna find out together. Go get the spare light, sweetheart.
Soon enough, Evelyn and Colin make it to the cornfield. While Colin holds the orange lantern, Evelyn holds the knife with one hand and Colin's hand in another. Colin nervously looks at the warning signs, shuffling closer to his mother.
Nothing's gonna come between you and me, sweetie. Not without a knife to the jugular.
Colin silently nods as they head inside the field. It's just the two of them and the crickets. An eerie aura pervades them throughout the field as they walk further and further in.
Ferris! Brutus? Where are you two? Ferris, come out here right now! I am not gonna play these games!
Mama, I think I see a clear spot.
Evelyn paces further into the field with Colin. There appears to be a standing figure manifesting the closer they get in the shadows, holding something in its hands.
Ferris, is that you?
But when they get out of the field, and when the light is shown on it, They instead see a heavily charred corpse, draped in rags and wearing a hangman's noose, propped up by a wooden stake. The corpse's fingers are melted onto a metal sign, reading, "Shouldn't have come this far."
Mom, I want to go home!
Ferris?
A razor-sharp sickle is suddenly flung toward their direction, sticking in the corpse's side. Evelyn immediately runs back out into the field, fleeing deeper and deeper with the screaming and sobbing Colin. From the cornstalks, the proprietor of the field emerges, Hektor Scareborough. Grinning, he watches on, feasting on their screams for the night.
Hope you flesh feet finally get the message!
The very next day, in the Dawn Forest Trail, Mimi and Sorin are going on something of a morning forest walk.
Morning already?
Duff opens his eyes, finding that his head is being carried by Sorin, and his bones are in a backpack being hauled by Mimi.
What's going on?
Good morning, Duff.
Can't a skeleton have the right to pull himself together before going on a morning hike?
Not if he doesn't wake up after someone tells him several times over to do so. How's the load? Not too heavy?
Mimi gave a thumbs up.
When we stop for lunch, that's when you can be a big boy skeleton again.
Lunch? Ain't that a thing you meat brains have in the afternoon?
It sure is.
Taking a break from the walk, Mimi, Sorin, and Duff sit in a clearing in the woods in the cool of a couple trees. While Sorin is reading a book, Duff looks incredibly impatient as his disembodied foot taps on the ground. All the while, Mimi's looking incredibly bored, picking at the grass idly.
So, since we've stopped...
Sun's not there yet, Duff.
Oh, come on!
This is a break from walking, not lunchtime.
You don't have to be so pedantic about it. Say, Mimi...
Hmm?
Are you up for a game?
Duff.
Oh, come on. The kid's bored, and so am I. You can loosen up, can't you? So, there's a game I like to play with Sorin often, and I think you'll like this one too. I call it Doppler. It's real simple. You take my head, and you throw it as far as you can into the distance. I'll be yelling for as long as I have airtime. It'll be fun. Want to give it a try? Oh, we're doing it now.
Good throw. Now you just gotta find him and pick him up.
Mimi gives a thumbs up and goes further into the woods to retrieve Duff's head.
Better not let the kid wander off by herself in there.
As Mimi heads further into the forest, the light darkens with every step, and as she rounds the corner of a tree, she's not in the forest anymore. That fun and excitement curdles into dread as an eerie omen pollutes the air. But there's a silver lining. Duff's skull is there!
Oh, Mimi, thank goodness! I've been calling out for you guys for hours!
Mimi goes over and takes Duff's head. Holding it close, there's a trembling fear in her as she nervously looks around.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. You know the way back by any chance? Well, there goes my hope. Hold on. Sorin? Where are you, you bundle of nerves? Sorin? Alright, so we may have to go into the cornfield to try and find him. Don't worry, kiddo. Ain't nothing can outspook a skeleton. If anyone comes near us, I'll bite him. I'm quite the biter. Ask Sorin.
Meanwhile, Sorin walks through the depths of the cornfield. Brushing away stalks upon stalks, he's armed only with his wit, as his eyes dart side to side. Paranoid. Afraid.
Hello? Duff? Mimi? That better be you or heck anyone else.
Slowly but surely, a sound starts to come up from behind him. Something big. Something on an engine. Sorin stands frozen in terror as this sound, whatever it may be, gets louder and closer. It sounds like a large, sharp harvester. He finally finds the strength to take several steps back until he lifts off the ground and attempts to fly in the air, but not until a cornstalk just so happens to wrap around his ankle and yanks him down. Running further and further into the fields, away from the growing sounds, he tries again to take off, only for the stalks to wrap around his entire body and root him. With only bare seconds to scratch and fight off the stalks, he keeps running further and further into the fields until...
Hey, there you are.
Run!
The three of them run deep into the fields, deeper and deeper until... They find themselves in another clearing, with only a wooden pole in the center of it as a lone beacon. The sounds of the harvesters suddenly stop, but around them lingers an eerie omen.
I don't like this.
Worst times are a common partner. Shame to see a growing illiteracy around these parts. Not even you city folk get the idea of staying off my property.
We didn't mean to intrude, sir. We were just...
Look, it's like this, okay? We came here on complete accident, yeah? Someone, not naming names, threw me in the forest, and I closed my eyes, and I was here.
Mimi is a crumpled, cowering ball of fear and absolute terror right now. Poor girl.
We didn't mean to intrude.
And yet you're here, miles deep in my acres. But I have an idea of how we can scratch both our backs here. Let's make a trade, shall we? Peachy. I'll take your head, little one.
Duff!
It's alright, Sor. Well, what are you gonna give them, straw for brains?
A head start.
Sorin takes Mimi's hand and immediately tries to make a break for the fields. But Mimi does not move.
5.
Mimi, come on!
4.
That freezing terror in Mimi changes in an instant, from fear to bold stubbornness. Mimi shakes away Sorin's hand as she stares up at Hektor.
3. 2.
Mimi, get out of here!
1.
In a snapping, sudden movement, Hektor extends his finger blades towards Mimi. She shuts her eyes, awaiting the end. But the point of the blade stops just in front of her nose. Staring down at her, Hektor's eyes betray a look of incredulousness. Sorin and Duff are in utter shock. Mimi opens her eyes, briefly taken aback, before looking to Duff, then back to Hektor.
You're not moving.
A wide grin spreads across the scarecrow's face as the finger blades retract.
You've got gumption, kiddo. You ain't leaving without your friend, huh? All right. Let's make another deal. Raise the ante for both of us, why don't we?
Reaching inside his hat, Hektor pulls out a deck of cards.
Go fish. A game for all ages. Frankly, I'd prefer blackjack, but I doubt you can even count to 21. If you win, y'all get to walk out of the patch alive. If you lose, you're all mulch.
The lot of them suddenly pop into a rustic game room. This throws off everyone but Hektor, who simply pulls a chair and seats himself by a round table, gesturing to an empty seat across from him.
How do you figure to take my soul? I'm already dead!
Simple. You're talking right now, so you still have one, I reckon.
As Duff and Hektor are bickering, Mimi finds an ace sitting on the seat of the chair. Making sure Hektor doesn't notice, she slips the card into her sleeve. And the game begins.
The dealer usually goes first, but this is a special game. After you.
Mimi nods. She turns over one of the 2 kings she has and taps on the card.
Go fish.
Mimi draws.
Any kings?
Mimi gives him the 2 kings she has, and already he has a book. She's visibly stressed at this point, although Hektor's maintaining a strong poker face. What a rough start.
Any 9s?
She shows and taps on a jack.
Go fish. Any 3s?
Mimi taps on a 2.
Go fish.
She draws and gets a 2, tapping on a queen this time. And she gets 3 queens from it! The pressure's on. In her momentum, Mimi triumphantly taps on a 4.
Go fish.
So much for that.
Any 7s?
Mimi shakes her head and Hektor draws, only to get another 7, and a book from it. There's a slight smirk under Hektor's hat, but it fades as quickly as it comes.
Any 9s?
She hands over one of her 9s, and that's another trick.
How about jacks?
She hands over 2 jacks, complimenting Hektor's 2 pairs as well. That's another book. Soon the game's nearly set in match. Although Mimi has 6 books, Hektor is at 4, and there aren't many cards on the table left. The tension's on as Sorin and Duff are watching from the sidelines, giving their final goodbyes to their souls.
Many 3s this time, little one?
1 book,
Any 2s?
another book for Hektor. That poker face, as stern as it was, is gone now, replaced by a wicked grin.
And any queens?
Rife with fear, Mimi timidly slides her queen to Hektor, who turns it into a book. Mimi's at 6 books, and Hektor at 7.
That's that then.
Wait, at least let us say our goodbyes.
You've got a minute.
Sor, you're as straight as an arrow and as fun as a tree. And yet, you've given me so much fun playing along with my antics.
It's been an honor, Duff. I couldn't imagine the harvest festivals without your lively, unlife.
And to you, Mimi, you've been...
10 seconds.
You've been a fun person to be around. I wish we could have known each other like the back of our hands.
Suddenly, Mimi remembers something. The literal ace in her hand. She takes it out, slamming it onto the table. As Hektor takes out his sickle, he stares incredulously at the card.
What in?
Mimi points to it, then at the book of aces on the table, of which there are only 3 cards.
You little cutspit! There ain't room for cheating now!
Wait, but that's from your deck, right? Your cards?
Yeah, so?
So it's not cheating. She just used your own card against you.
Yeah, and she found it for you, free of charge.
Hektor glares at Mimi, going over to her. He glances down at the book of ace.
What do you know? Guess there are 3.
He looks over to Mimi, then to Sorin, then to Duff. That scowling grimace suddenly snaps into a cackle at the notion of it all.
I so hope she learned to cheat on her own. Smart.
Mimi signs to Hektor.
Thank you, and well played.
I have no idea what you're doing, kid.
Forgoing the sign language, Mimi just offers her hand. Hektor takes it and gives it a firm shake.
Now. Get.
The trio begins to leave, but not before Hektor stops Mimi.
Next time we bump into each other, we're gonna have a rematch. Full deck this time. You and me.
Enough. Come on, let's go find Duff's body.
Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it?
As the 3 leave, Hektor sighs and rolls his head. He looks to a decrepit-looking door in the room.
Might as well take care of the guests.
In a dark, damp basement, lit only by an oil lantern, Ferris and Brutus lay alone in a patch of hay, holding each other close and sleeping. They're tied to a ground stake with rope. Brutus's ears perk up as he hears the footsteps and whimpers, shuffling closer to Ferris and rousing him from his sleep. The basement door opens, as Hektor's silhouette can be seen at the top of the stairs.
Well, Ferry, I've had a very long day. Between your family and a trio of city bumpkins trespassing onto my patch like y'all want to squash the carve, it's fair to say I'm pretty winded. But suffice to say, I'm in a good mood. Say something, will ya?
Leave them alone.
Oh, hush. Unless they rally a mob and march on towards my patch, I don't give a one nickel about chasing them down. Which leads me to our next point of operation.
Hektor takes out a worn old silver dollar, twiddling it between his fingers.
I've already had my fun with a card game, but that don't mean my gamble lust be dying soon. Anyway, it's a simple coin toss. Heads, you leave. Tails, you stay. Get the picture?
Yeah.
You're a good man, Fairy. I hope you make it.
Hektor tosses the coin. This is it. It's either life or death now. Heads.
Well, aren't you a lucky devil?
Ferris slowly stands up. Brutus begins to stand too, but a web of vines wraps around the dog's legs.
Where do you think you're going, mutt?
Hey, we won the toss. You can't do this.
You won, but the dog hasn't played yet.
The coin is tossed in the air again. Life slows to a still, the tension palpable. Silence. Hektor's eyes aren't visible from the cover of his hat as Ferris worriedly watches Brutus. In a snapping instant, Hektor's finger blades extend as he suddenly slices the rope in half, freeing them.
Take your dog and get out. Don't come back.
Brutus, it's okay, boy.
Hektor waits some time for them to leave. As the door shuts, it's just him in the dark. He takes out a pipe and packs it. Opening the lantern, he ignites his right index and middle fingertips and lights the pipe. Taking a few puffs, he goes over to a wall and slumps down against it, looking into the darkness.
I have a mighty strong feeling you orchestrated this whole thing, Mora, just to stuff weasels into my britches. Don't act like you're gone deaf now. I know enough of your games together. You're just sitting in a corner laughing at all this. I ever see you, or if you play another one of your games again, I'm gonna grow the tallest corn stack on this yellow earth and hang you from it. Mark my sin-soaked words.
Hektor takes another puff, blowing it into the coal-black darkness within. The light in the lantern flickers, for but a moment. Tales of Annualia, Book 1, Chapter 2, Shuffling for Souls. Starring Morrison James as Ferris, Diana Helen Kennedy as Evelyn, Alexxandra Macedo as Colin, JJ as Brutus, Stephen Reatherford as Hektor Scareborough, Joseph Esposito as Duff Mandible, Jazzy Oliver as Sorin Battington, Gael Rice as Ominous Laugh. Vocal reactions for Mimi Mimica and narrations by Jordan Scarzfava. Created, directed, and edited by Jordan Scarzfava and Stephen Reatherford. Written by Ian Stanford. Captions by Jazzy Oliver. Cover art by Puppy Relp and Jordan Scarzfava. Royalty-free music by Yamena Contreras, Jeremy Blake, Wes Hutchinson, Everett Almond, Inaban, Kinkas Morera, Dan Leibowitz, Telecasted, Cooper Cannell, Nat Keefe with the bow ties, Mew, and National Sweetheart. Special thanks to our patrons, Bernie the Cat and Mr. V. Tales of Annualia, copyright Jordan Scarzfava and Stephen Reatherford, 2025. Thank you for listening. See you all next time.